Hi, this is video number 1 on how to measure model 1966. So the first thing you need to do is have a look around on the drawing and try and determine how many different exposed wall assemblies there might be associated with any given house. So if you scan around the exposed perimeter of this drawing, you can notice that there are certain areas in the drawing where we've got some different symbols. So let me zoom in on this. So if you have a close look, you'll notice here, it's a little hard to see from the photocopying, but these are all squiggly lines in here. And you'll notice that the same sort of symbols are shown in here, over in this corner, and down in this corner. So these are all squiggly lines, and those squiggly lines represent that is the actual fiberglass insulation in the exposed wall. Now you'll notice that we've got the inside surface here in a dark line. We've got this as a dark line. We've got a third dark line here, and again it's difficult to see, but we've got some diagonal lines drawn in here. And these diagonal lines represent that this in here is a brick, a clay brick. Could be a 3-inch clay brick, it could be a 4-inch clay brick, but that symbol where you've got diagonal lines relatively spaced relatively close together would represent that is a brick veneer on the outside. So if you think way back when we talked about some definitions, we talked about the word cladding. So cladding is a general term which means that there is some form of exterior protection on every wall of a house. This helps prevent wind, snow, rain, and so on from penetrating into the wall assembly and causing problems. So in this scenario, the architect has drawn these diagonal lines representing that this is a brick exterior cladding. Now you also notice that we've got a box here with number 3 in it and a line pointing to this wall. So if you go to your construction notes, which is the front page, you will see that you've got all those boxes and with numbers in them. As you would scan down, you would find box number 3, and you'll notice that the description says it's a frame wall with brick veneer. Then it begins to list the components in that wall. So we've got a 3-inch clay brick, there's a 1-inch air space, a 1/2-inch plywood sheathing, you've got 2x6 wood studs, and then insulation as per SB 12 package, and then on the inside we've got 1/2-inch drywall. Now at this point, the main thing you want to focus in on is that this wall is called a frame wall plus brick veneer. So frame wall means that we've got wood studs forming the actual structure of the exposed wall, and the brick veneer is our exterior cladding. You can see it is possible to have different kinds of exterior cladding. Here we've got a frame wall with siding. And so we've got, in this case, it's specifying a vinyl siding. You could have wood siding, you could have aluminum siding, you can have siding with insulation, you can have siding without insulation. And so the term siding can mean any number of different types of siding, but this is still all in all a cladding material. So for our example, this exposed wall is indicated as being number 3, which means that the exposed wall is in fact a frame wall of 2x6 construction with bricks on the outside to act as our cladding. So we know then that this part of our building is a frame wall with brick veneer. As you scan around, you'll notice there's the same box with number 3. So this indicates that these walls are also frame plus brick. And making your way around, you can see again box number 3. So all of this wall here is frame plus brick. Coming around, we've got again box number 3. So all of this here is frame wall plus brick. Now, so we've seen that as we come down, we've got frame wall plus brick. You'll notice that now this bit of wall has been drawn differently. Looks different from this wall to this wall. Now you can still see the squigglies lines in here, so we still have insulation. But what is difficult to see, but it is there, is you'll notice there are some diagonal lines, but they are much further spaced apart. So when you've got a diagonal line spaced further apart, this is the symbol for a concrete block. You'll notice here are the bricks with the diagonal lines spaced closely together. Here we've got diagonal lines spaced further apart. So this is brick veneer, but this is block. And you'll also notice that you've got box number 36. Once again, if you go to your construction notes and we look for box number 36, we find box number 36 and we've got a block veneer wall. So we can have a look at the components in that, and you can see that we've got a 4-inch concrete block, there's a 1-inch airspace, 1/2-inch plywood, we've got our 2x6 studs, insulation as per SP12 package, and the interior layer of drywall. So clearly, wall type number 36 is different than our frame plus brick. Here we've got wood studs with brick veneer, and over here we've got wood studs with a block veneer. So that means that these two wall assemblies are different. And so because these two assemblies are different, we need to consider them separately. So we've come down this way, we've got our wall type 3, frame plus brick. We are coming across this way, and we're stopping here because this is the garage, and so we always consider the wall between the house and the garage to be an exposed wall. There's heat loss from the inside surface of this wall through into the garage. So you have to include the area of any wall between the house and the garage. And in this case, this portion of wall extending from here over to here is a frame plus block veneer wall. Now, as you look further, you notice that we've got a different wall drawn here. And this wall is physically drawn smaller than our exposed frame plus brick, and as well our exposed frame plus block veneer. Once again, you'll notice that there is a box associated with it, box 19, which means that if you look on your construction notes and we look for box number 19, you would find the wall description. Here you can see that it says frame plus drywall both sides. So we've got an exterior layer of 1/2-inch drywall. We've got our wood studs, again insulation as per SB12 package, and an inside layer of drywall. So that's why this wall looks physically thinner than either our frame plus block or the frame plus drywall. And so therefore this is again a different assembly than either of these two, and so you have to consider this wall separately. So we've come from frame plus brick, we've moved through frame plus block, we've got some frame plus drywall both sides, and now we're back to frame plus brick. And so judging from these different wall assemblies, if you make your way all the way around the exposed perimeter of this house, you'll notice that if you start here, this is all frame plus brick all the way around till we get to this corner between the house and the garage. Now we've got frame plus block, and up to this point we've got frame plus drywall. Now we're back to frame plus brick. So when you are determining the actual areas of exposed walls, for instance, you know what row on your worksheet to put in the exposed area. Because if you have a look at the worksheet, you can see that there are different rows associated with the different types of construction. So here we've got frame plus brick, here is frame plus siding, frame plus stucco, frame plus block, and frame plus drywall. Now note the word gross starts on all of these. Gross means this is the gross wall area, and gross wall area includes all the area of the wall plus the area of any windows and doors. You'll notice as you go further down the worksheet, you've got net frame plus brick and net frame plus siding and so on. The word net means that we have taken the gross wall area and subtracted any windows and doors to come up with a net area, and that net area is the actual area that's going to experience heat loss through the wall.